What you guys, today we're taking a look at 5 essential Linux Mint tweaks every beginner needs. Quite a few people have asked me about Linux, about what to do when they first install Linux. So I thought I'd make a quick video explaining what you need to do after you install Linux Mint. These are just basic things that you should be doing when you first install and set up Linux Mint on your PC. Remember, Windows is not Linux and Linux is not Windows. They're both totally different operating systems. So let's go ahead and we'll get Linux installed on here. I'm choosing Linux Mint today. Now, I won't bore you with the whole installation process because I've shown you this before. So let's get to the desktop and I'll show you exactly what you need to do first. So I've now got Linux Mint installed. I need to sign in for the very first time. Now, when you first sign in to Linux Mint, you're going to get this Welcome to Linux Mint. This is quite a helpful little page that's going to help you get set up very quickly. So don't be too quick to close it. Click on Let's Go and it will give you the first steps that you need to carry out with Linux Mint. I'll run you through these anyway, but you can do it through here. But again, like I said, I'll show you the way I do it anyway. I normally close this off and run through my own thing the way I like to do it. But it's pretty straightforward stuff. But if you want to hide this, you can just uncheck this and it won't show itself anymore. But if you leave it check marked, it will keep coming back every single time you boot up until you close it off. So let's first start with the first one, which is update everything first. So on your Linux Mint system, you've got a terminal. Now, some people say you don't really need to go in the terminal, but it's always good to know some basic commands. And the first few basic commands you might want to learn is how to update and upgrade Linux. And you can do it from here as well. And it's good to learn some of the basic steps. So first thing is update everything. Sudo apt update, and you've got the and sign, and then sudo apt upgrade space -y. That's what you need to do. This will give you security patches, new hardware support, bug fixes, and better stability. Just like Windows, Linux needs to have security patches and bug fixes because there is also problems with Linux just like Windows. No operating system is 100% perfect. So run through this and this will get you all of the latest security updates and patches and everything else that you need to do for Linux Mint. You're going to see a bunch of text flying up on the screen. That's pretty normal, but just let it do its thing. And when that's done, we can move on to the next step. The next step is installing Media Codecs. You can do this during the installation process, but if you've missed it, you can do it right here by doing sudo space apt space install space mint dash meta dash codecs. And this is going to add all the support for your MP3s, MP4 /H.264, your DVD playback, and common fonts and media formats. It will add all those in for support. So you just add that in like so, and it will go ahead and do it. It's already done it during the installation because I made sure I check mark that box. But if you haven't done it, that's how you can do it. Next, moving on to the next bit. Just going to quickly restart the PC. And we've now gone back to the login screen. So let's log in with our credentials and get back to the desktop. Now, I did leave this check mark. But next is setting up Timeshift, i.e. snapshots. On Windows, it's going to be like system restore, similar to that. But let's go ahead and do that right here. So we're going to go into the actual menu system here. If you had the welcome screen open, it will prompt you to do this as well. Right here, you can change the size of your menu the way you like it. I'll show you some more of this later on. But once you're inside here, what you want to do is navigate to the administration section right here. So it should be in your system settings administration right here, and just click in the administration settings and you will see if you scroll down a little bit in there, it will be at the bottom. So you can do a search for it as well, but you should see Timeshift right here and it says system restore utility. So I'm going to go ahead and put in our password here to authenticate ourselves like so, and a little box will pop up like this. So from here, you can select a snapshot type. We're going to leave this on the top selection, which is RSYNC. And once we've got that set, we can click on next. This will take us to the next step, which is going to estimate our system size on our drive to make sure we've got space. So it's going to go ahead and do that right here. So let's go ahead and now select a snapshot location. So you can see our drive right here. This is on a virtual machine, but your drive will be bigger than this. We can select that and click next. Now you can select your snapshot level, so whether you want to do it monthly, weekly, daily, hourly, or whenever you boot up. So it's entirely up to you how you set yours up, but just make your options right here, whether you want to do it for monthly or weekly, and then how many you want to keep before it starts to erase those and create new ones. So just select what you want, and when you're happy with your selection, you can click on next to move on to the next step. So from here, you can see we've got some information right here, so we can now see exclude all files, and you can include only hidden files or include all files. So depending on how you want to set yours, you can check mark these by using the radio buttons here in the little boxes to select which ones you want for root and for the actual account there, which is Brightech, as you can see there. So you can select the options you want for your setup. It's pretty self-explanatory. And once you've got this set, you can click next and move on. So let's quickly click on next here, and we'll take a look at the next screen, and it says setup complete. So now your Timeshift has now been all set, and you can now click finish, and now that's been taken care of. And you see here it says Timeshift is active, and we can create a new one. We can restore from here as well. So it's going to go ahead and create a Timeshift for us. So let's go ahead and do that right here. And we've now created one, and we can restore from here, delete it. We can browse them, and we can also look at the settings and go back through the wizard if we want to at any time. So get familiar with this, because this might be a lifesaver to you if you're a beginner with Linux, because it might be able to revert back to a time when it was working correctly. So daily snapshots at the beginning and keep 3 or 5 backups might be useful to you until you get a bit more advanced, and you can reduce that down if you want to. And there's some options here as well. You can take some time to read all about it. And you can see we've got one snapshot. You do need a bit of space because it will take up some space. Next, it's configuring all your drivers. So let's go ahead, and we're going to go into the driver manager. Inside the administration section right here, it will open up the application. I'm on a virtual machine here, so it's saying there's no drivers needed. But if you had drivers that you need for maybe your Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, or maybe your NVIDIA drivers or something like that, you might need a proprietary hardware support, and it will find it here, and hopefully you can get that back up and running. So use the driver manager to get your drivers installed for your peripherals and hardware that you're using on that system. Next, installing all your useful apps. Again, this is not Windows, this is Linux, so you can go into the software manager, and you can search through here and install all of your apps that you want to use. Some of the apps that work on Windows might work on Linux, for instance, like VLC. So you might be okay there, but you might need to use alternatives in replacement to, say, some of the Windows ones that don't work on Linux. So if you want to install it, click on the install button and choose your additional software will be installed. A selection right here. So let's click on continue. And what we need to do is put our password in one more time. And again, people complain about Windows having to do this sometimes when you set it up on Windows, but Linux, you have to do it too. There's no difference. Let's go ahead and click launch here, and we can allow Meta network access. Let's go ahead and continue here, and you can configure it the way you like. But there you go. You got a VLC installed on the system. And it just looks exactly the same as Windows, because it is. It's working on Linux. Now, not all software is going to be compatible with Linux that you use on Windows, so you will need to find alternatives. And you can go through and do a search for some of the alternatives, or you can search online. There's plenty of options available, but you've got GIMP here instead of, say, Photoshop, and you've got some other ones like, say, Spotify here, but they've broken it down into Internet, Office, and things like that. Now, LibreOffice is already installed on this version of Linux Mint, but if you haven't got it, you can go ahead and install it by doing a search for it right here. But you can see it's already installed on here. This is a replacement, say, for Microsoft Office, and it works pretty well, and it's got all the functionality that Microsoft Office has, but it's for Linux Mint and other versions of Linux. Again, choose the browsers that you want to use, whether you want to use Google Chrome or whether you want to use Brave or whether you want to use Firefox. It comes with Firefox pre-installed, but you can choose whatever browsers you like and uninstall the old browser. It's entirely up to you what you use on your PC. But you can do a quick search here, and you can do updates here. It's going to go ahead and do an update of all the system for the system apps here. So let's go ahead and do that. You've got Discord here, Dropbox, and a bunch of other stuff. There's loads of stuff that does work on Linux. So choose what you need to install. If you need password managers, you can use something like Bitwarden or something like that. You can just install that onto the system like I'm doing right here. Pretty straightforward stuff. And you're done. Now, if you need a firewall and one is not installed, then you can do inside the terminal window. You can quite easily do this right here. So you just type this command out right here, and it will go ahead and enable our firewall, and we can then configure it. So sudo space UFW space enable, just like so. Press enter, and then put your password in, and then press enter again, and it's now enabled. It was already installed on this system, so I'm going to go ahead now and I'll show you basically what it looks like. There should be a little shield down on the bottom right hand corner, or there should be some sort of application inside here. You can see firewall configuration right here. Just put your password in once more, and there you go. It's a pretty basic firewall, but people ask me, is there possible to install a firewall? And you can do, and this is it right here. So it's self-explanatory. As you can see, profile is set to home, office or public, status it's on, and you've got incoming deny, outgoing allow. That's how it's been set. There's some rules as well. If you want to set up your rules, you can do. So here's your rules right here, and you can add new rules. So if you need to add new rules to open up a port, maybe you want to do something like that, you can do. Or maybe you want to block something, you can do. You can go into a rules, add it, and then add block. You can import profiles, export profiles, and all that sort of stuff, as you would do with any other firewall. This is your plus sign here to add a policy. So you can see right here, allow, direction in, and got category, and you can basically use some of these right here. If there's any games that need to have a port open, you can do. You can just select it right here and basically go through the same process as you would in Windows or any other operating system. So we're going to go ahead and close that off, and that is your firewall. Another bonus tip is to configure the appearance of Mint itself to make it your own, and you can do that in a bunch of different places. So if we right click on the start button right here, you've got the menu. You can toggle on a bunch of little options right here and make changes to it to make it your own, because everyone has different requirements from an operating system. So you can customize it to the way you like, whether you like it dark, whether you like it light. Everyone has different options. So you can go through here and check mark some of this stuff right here. And you've got the menu editor right here, and you can go through and configure it the way you like. I'm not going to get too heavy into this because this is a separate video in itself. But again, this is where you would customize the appearance and the behavior of the menu. So just like Windows, it has its own dedicated area for the menu. But in Linux, you get a lot more control, as you can see here, to customize it the way you like. Whereas in Windows, is what you're given is what you get. You can't do much with it. But in here, you can customize it to the way you like. Change the icon sizes and things like that, and have full customization of it. Change the size of it, which is in Windows 11. You can't at the moment. You're pretty restricted. So you can go through here and do what you like inside your menu system. And if we go down to this folder icon right here, you can see we've just customized it a little bit. We've got some extra areas we just added, and it looks very similar to Windows. You've got your desktop, your documents, your downloads, your music, your pictures, and so on right inside here. You can change the look of it right here by clicking on this little buttons at the bottom here. It will change the overall look just like you can in Windows, but just mess around with it a little bit. You're not going to break it by doing some of this stuff, but just remember what you're doing here. And again, like I said, you can always test this out in a virtual machine before you start committing to it inside an actual PC. But again, it's pretty customizable. As you can see, it looks very similar to Windows, this part, but just go through and get used to it and familiar with it. Inside your preferences area here, you've got your views, your display. This is all your options for list columns, preview, toolbar, context menus, and so on. You can customize all of this stuff inside here to the way you want it. And you've also got document templates and plugins right here. So these are your options you've got available inside this area right here. Let's take a quick look at system settings so you can see what it's all about and where you can configure and customize it. So if you go inside here and go system settings, this is what you're looking at right here. and you can see backgrounds, you've got your themes, you've got your font selection, your effects. You can go in and customize everything in here, whether you want it mixed, dark, light, and you can change all the colors right here. And there's advanced settings inside here as well. So this is where you would make changes to this if you want to. You've got actions. You've also got applets as well, and date and time and things like that. So if you wanted to add in, say, for instance, a weather module, you can do here. And if you wanted to do that, let me just quickly show you. You can click on download right here, and it's going to start downloading all these images. And you can see, there we go. There's the weather module right here. We can go ahead and either right click here on the taskbar, and you can see applets. It will take you here as well. If you wanted to get to this location, let's go back to the download section, and we can now click on download with the little arrow here, or install. And this will go ahead and install this option onto the system. So from here, we can configure it to our liking, whether you want to put it in certain areas. So down the bottom here, you should see the little plus and minus sign right here. So let's click on plus. It's now added it down on the bottom right-hand corner. You can see it there with saying 10 Celsius. And if you wanted to customize it, you can configure it right here. So there is the actual applet, and you can go ahead and customize it the way you like. So you can change whatever you like here for your weather, and you can also change the location. So if you wanted to change the location, it's not the right location, you can do, and you can also do the presentation and other options available. So this is the custom location right here. I'll just quickly set this up. I've turned off the automatic location finder, and I've put it onto manual, and you can put in a manual one if you want to, and you can also make some other changes inside here. And when it's done, it should look something like this. Down on the bottom right hand side, we can click on this right here, and there you go. You've got your nice little weather applet right here, and it gives you all the information that you've set up and configured inside yours. If you leave it to automatically find your location, it will have your location right there. And that's basically your beginner's guide to setting up Linux Mint. There's loads more you can do with Linux Mint. If you're looking to transition over from Windows to Linux Mint, then that's basically all you need to do to get up and running. Just familiarize yourself with some of the settings and how you use it. If you follow this guide, you should be able to use Linux Mint with no problems at all. So I hope this video has been some sort of help to you. I know a lot of people don't watch Linux content on my channel, but I did it because a lot of people were asking the question how to set up Linux Mint and how to get it familiarized with it. So I thought I'd make a quick video showing you how to do that. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If anyone's got any more information they want to add to it, then the comment section is where to leave it. My name has been Brian from briteccomputers.co.uk. Just want to say a quick shout out to all my YouTube members who join my YouTube members group. I really do appreciate the support. I shall catch you in the very next video, or I'll see you on the Discord server for a chat. Bye for now.